Hey, let's talk about cells. This is a visualization of a eukaryotic cell. To give you a good idea of what it's like in a cell, let's cover the cell's working parts, the organelles. The cell membrane, or plasma membrane, is the flexible enclosure for the cell parts. It is made of a continuous phospholipid bilayer, or two layers of a phospholipid, which have hydrophobic or water-fearing tails that face inward. The cell membrane is semi-permeable, which means it lets some molecules into the cell, whether through the phospholipid bilayer or transport proteins, but doesn't let in other particles. But overall, the cell membrane functions to protect the cells from their environment. The nucleus stores genetic material, which codes for the proteins that form and operate the cell. The nucleus has pores through which RNA travels, and has a two-layer membrane enclosing the chromosomes. Chromosomes are tightly coiled DNA, which is the master copy of the organism's structure. Cytoplasm is a gel-like liquid that exists between organelles, like water in a fish tank. The cytoplasm is made of cystol, a fluid that on its own is less gel-like and more like this. It is 80% water. Chemical reactions take place in the cystol, such as glycolysis, the anaerobic synthesis of ATP. The rough endoplasmic reticulum is a flat network of membrane-enclosed tubes and sacs called cisternae. It's called rough because it's studded with ribosomes, which synthesize proteins. Which brings us to a very important cellular structure, the ribosome. Ribosomes are found both in the rough endoplasmic reticulum and floating freely in the cystol. Ribosomes generate proteins by facilitating translation, the process in which the ribosome strings amino acids together into a polypeptide according to the nucleotide sequence of the messenger RNA. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum has many jobs. It synthesizes lipids, metabolizes complex carbohydrates, facilitates drug detoxification, and receives signals from the plasma membrane. Mitochondria are often referred to as the powerhouses of the cell. They generate most of the cell's ATP through aerobic respiration, or cellular respiration, which takes place in the mitochondria's membrane system. Mitochondria are also, interestingly, in possession of their own DNA, which has led scientists to think that they were originally mooching prokaryotes. The Golgi is like the endoplasmic reticulum in its cisternae-based structure, but it modifies, packs, and ships proteins and other molecules to respective destinations in or outside the cell. Vesicles take care of that transportation. Vesicles are bubbles with a phospholipid bilayer membrane. They mold around particles to transport them out of the cell or somewhere else in the cell, or in some cases into the cell from the outside surface of the plasma membrane. Lysosomes are not pink Christmas bows like it looks like here, but they are the cell's waste disposal system. Lysosomes have a strong acidic enzyme called acid hydrolase to break down large particles, like dead organelles or large bits of food. The cytoskeleton, as the name indicates, is the skeleton or framework of the cell. There are three cytoskeletal structural fibers. The smallest are microfibrils, or microfilaments. The medium-sized ones are intermediate filaments, and the largest are microtubules. These three fibers work together in order to give the cell shape, allow the cell to move, and allow the cell to split. However, all we've seen so far is two-dimensional. Paper shapes are not at all representative of the cell's complex three-dimensional structure. Here are some objects from my room that symbolize the organelles we've discussed. Like in a real cell, though all the items can fit in this basket box thing, everything must be packed in tightly and precisely. The only thing keeping it all together is the cell membrane.